Blog Talk Radio. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Stress is Stressing Me Out podcast. I am your host, Maki Adeyemi, and today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes that women make that causes burnout. But before I get into that, I want to say something here. I want to say God bless President Biden. Most of you may have seen the footage of Biden's falling up the stairs, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I saw the footage during Sean Hannity's program on Fox. The lamestream media, and yes, I said it, the lamestream media did not cover it. At least I didn't see it on CNN. When I turned it on CNN, they were still talking about Trump or something with his organization or some kind of charity or something they were talking about. But they were talking about ex-President Trump. And they are also blaming strong winds that blew President Biden over. Come on now. I know that the media really don't think too much of us, but we're not stupid. Getting older is a pain, and if we live long enough, we all will get there. Imagine being able to do things that you once loved, that you were able to do, and now you can't anymore because age took over. I worry about aging. I'm 45. In 20 years, I'll be 65 years old. So I worry about losing my memory, forgetting the names of my family, can't drive to places that I used to go to because I can't remember the directions. President Biden, I hope you are okay. Okay. I would like to get into a devotional, and I'm going to try to find devotionals that fit with the topic that we will be talking about. And this podcast is about stress. So if we are stressed, that means we need to rest. So I want to talk about the reason to rest. And this comes from Ecclesiastes, and the meaning of Ecclesiastes, it means the teacher, if you didn't know. This comes from 2 verses 17 through 26, and it says, "What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they labor under the sun?" And so we have a reason to rest. If you want to live longer, take a vacation. 40 years after a study of middle-aged male executives who each had a risk of heart disease, researchers in Helsinki, Finland, followed up with their study participants. The scientists discovered something they hadn't been looking for in their original findings. The death rate was lower among those who had taken time off for vacations. And I know we say we don't have time to go anywhere. We don't have time to take a vacation. We got too much stuff to do. Work is a necessary part of life, a part God appointed to us even before our relationship with Him was fractured in Genesis 3. Solomon wrote of the seeming meaninglessness of work experienced by those not working for God's honor, recognizing its anxious striving and grief and pain. Even when they're not actively working, he says their minds do not rest because they're thinking about what still needs to be done. We too might at times feel like we're chasing after the wind and grow frustrated by our inability to finish our work. But when we remember that God is part of our labor, our purpose, we can both work hard and take time to rest. We can trust Him to be our provider, for He's the giver of all things. Solomon acknowledges that without Him, who can eat or find enjoyment? Perhaps by reminding ourselves of that truth, we can we can we can work diligently, for him and also allow ourselves times of rest. The vacation part. I'm guilty of that. I haven't had a vacation in years. And I thought that a staycation would be just as good as a vacation, but it's not. When you have a staycation and you stay at home, you still have family members that call. You still have family members that come over. You have people call you to do different things if you can help them out with things. It is just what it is. So I'm going to work hard on trying to take a vacation, get out of town for a while, but COVID has pretty much set all of us down. So whenever they start to open up the travel industry again, I will think long and hard about taking a vacation and just getting away from the family, just getting away from the duties of work. I am a school teacher, and there are stressful things that are going on there as well. And in that passage, it talks about our mind is constantly racing, and you're constantly thinking about what needs to be done. And I'm guilty of that. And like I said, I am a school teacher, so I'm thinking I got to grade these papers. I got this test to grade. I have to put together the lesson plan. I have to get ready for the kids with the PowerPoint and the notes. I have to work on the professional learning community, our meetings. So it's constant thinking. I say thinking ahead, but it's constantly thinking about what needs to be done. And we're never done with work. There's never a time that we are done with work. And especially if you're a school teacher, you're constantly grading. You're constantly grading papers or projects. Not, you would never say, "Woo, I'm done with grading," said no teacher ever. No teacher ever says they're done with grading. It's constantly other things that come in from the kids that we have to grade. And so keep that in mind, not only in the world of education, but any profession. Try to get away from it. And like I said, a staycation may not work. You may have to just get on a plane or get on Amtrak somewhere and go somewhere and be someplace different. Take in, different scenery, different kinds of scenery, a different address, whatever it is. Do that for yourself. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. And again, today's topic is 3 mistakes that women make that cause burnout. Women all over the world express their struggles in their daily lives. They describe it as stress, burnout, or being overwhelmed. So here are 3 dangerous mistakes women make. Number 1, tolerate. When we tolerate, we give permission. The more women bite their tongues with family, friends, staff, bosses, and colleagues, then you are consistently giving others permission to continue this bad behavior. Instead of saying something to shut it down, we settle for the chaos. We women tolerate way too much for far too long. Number 2, ignoring the warning signs. And when I say warning signs, the warning signs of stress. Stress is an internal, biological, physiological, chemical reaction that is part of your autonomic nervous system with clear and identifiable symptoms. There are 2 types of stress. The first type is called acute stress. And this kind of stress is low stress levels that spur you forward and enhance your awareness. Has been shown to have positive effects on your lifestyle. The second kind of stress is the chronic stress. And chronic stress is high stress levels that cause the continued release of cortisol. And cortisol is a stress hormone released by the adrenal glands. And these glands are located on top of each one of your kidneys. Ignoring the warning signs of chronic stress can lead to headaches, dry skin, forgetfulness, fatigue, mood swings, sleepless nights, indifference, depression, and ultimately burnout. Ignoring these signs is the same as sticking your head in the sand and waiting for burnout to come and take over. The third mistake women make, going it alone. Anytime women's issues are discussed, there is one word that always seems to come up. That word is empowerment. Many women take this to mean doing everything by themselves. This thought can keep women from reaching out to others for support. Culture says in order to become a successful woman, you must go about it alone. This is the most dangerous of all because it keeps us stressed and can lead us directly to burnout. What can you do instead? There are solutions to these mistakes. There are solutions to these three mistakes that I just talked about. They are clear, but not so simple to implement. So what are they? I will tell you on the other side of the break. Can't believe it. So women, what can you do? Number one, know your stress. The point of knowing your stress helps you identify the kind of type of stress you are experiencing. It also allows you to create action plans with appropriate coping methods. The first line of defense against burnout is stopping it before it starts. Number two, assess your stress. Becoming aware of your warning signs is the second step to warding off burnout. Know how stress shows up in you. And you can there are online questionnaires and surveys you can take to survey your stress. All you have to do is Google that. And number three, reduce your stress. You can't do it alone. It takes resources, information, and people for you to learn from and lean on, share with, and problem solve. Reducing your stress can hold off burnout, but you must be intentional and strategic with coping methods. Once you address these three mistakes and implement strategies or strategic solutions, it will ward off burnout and you will find your passion again. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? Are the experts correct? Tweet me at stressingism. Email sismo1875@gmail.com. And as always, you can find this podcast on Stitcher, Google Plays, Spotify, TuneIn, and Blog Talk Radio. Until next week, let not your heart be troubled. Relax.